let's get started.
Yeah.
Everybody ready? All right.
Space bar.
What's that?
Space bar.
Yeah.
We're going to try to get through this without any technical.
Yeah. So I'm also a great guinea pig. Okay. It's not. Oh yeah. Okay. So first of all, let's talk about our new newsletter. So this is the one you're going to want to open, right? All our information is going to be here. What's going on in the company and your weekly update. So we're not going to inundate you with a bunch of emails. Just look at that one, okay? And of course, you have questions. You got Bianca and myself. So taking a look at what it looks like. I'm having some delays here. That's just an example of what it looks like. We've got great links to the classes if you want to sign up. All right. And you can join the Facebook group from there and Instagram and all the others. Okay. Oh, this is cool. I like this, by the way. Well, I'm the manager. Of course I like this, right? So if you refer 3 agents to the office, you get 6 months of your fees waived, of your office fee. Sound good? You do it again, you get another 6 months. Do it again, it's free for life. How's that?
That's awesome.
Make sense? So you're 90 years old, not paying a dime. I love
We have a lot of agents that have done that too.
it. They're not all 90. You don't have to wait that long.
They only look 90.
It's a business, right? All right. Hey, this is a new guy. He's actually newer than me. Fantastic person. Love this guy. A little bit about himself. I have a question for him. He's not here. What is a brick chicken? Can anybody answer that for me? I mean, doesn't sound tasty.
They have it at Southern Steakhouse. They actually put a brick on it.
Yeah, it's like
On
they put
the
something
grill?
heavy.
Oh, they kind of mash it down with a brick?
Really?
The hot brick? Oh, very interesting.
Never heard of it.
I never heard of it. And I don't pass up a meal, so. So this is another business goal. What is interesting about you? He likes to build with and work with concrete. That's like my
That's so
nightmare.
manly.
That's a nightmare for me. This stuff gets everywhere. Anyway, another story. Anyway, if you see this guy walking around, say hi. He's a great dude.
So we call him Brick House?
Yeah. Whoa. Okay. Kevin Wilson, he's all right. No, he was my manager. He was my manager for a year, and he's one of the big reasons I actually even entertained leaving the company I was at because of Kevin. I've known him for quite a while. So great guy. And the cool thing I like about this, his favorite movie, Animal House. And if you met Kevin, you'd be like, okay, I know a little bit more insight to you now, right? So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Been in the business forever. He's actually been in business. Owned a donut shop. So I had to have him try our donuts. By the way, we got donuts and bagels. Fantastic. Okay. All right, $1 Million Club. Love this stuff. This is what makes the business roll, right? So we got Dennis, Bob, and John.
All right. Nice.
All right, there's more. All right.
What is the $1 Million Club?
You know, it's funny you ask. I forgot my 3x5s. So the $1 Million Club is when you pay me $1 million. No, that's not true. That's not true. The $1 Million Club is when your production is $1 million in a month, and this is for last month. So it's you get a poster, so you're famous, right? So it's pretty cool. Is that good? All right, I got the thumbs up. I'm ready to go. There's more. Inessa, Vitaly, Igor, Michael, Ali, and Nicole. All right. So wait, there's more. Jason, Thomas, Lewis, another Jason, Naomi, Kim, Carrie, and Ron. This could take the whole meeting.
This is just Sacramento.
Yeah, just Sacramento. You hear that, Folsom? Top producer in sales and top producer in volume. get a chance to meet her, say hi, she's fantastic. They're all fantastic, but anyway. All right. Rockland. We didn't forget about you, Rockland. Julie, Shane, Gina, Diane, Bree, Kevin, Mike, and Alyssa. And more Rockland. Brian, Nick, Bonnie, Jerry Lee, Ariane, is that right?
Yep.
Chaz, Jessica, and Blake. Peggy, Mel, Lori, Ashley, Devin, Danielle, Zach, and Shannon. Man, we got a lot of people. All right, Mark, Kelly, Belle, Shauna, Michelle, Vicky, Mickey, and Shauna. Oh man, more. Rochelle, Aaron, Stephanie, Heather, Justin, Brett, Tara, and Rich, shout out. Top producer in sales, Courtney, all right, give her a hand. Top producer in volume, Jamie. Great job, great job. All right, now let's talk about Folsom. All right, Jamie, Ryan, and good numbers. Good numbers. They did such a good job. Actually, you walked into this room, so I kind of messed up. The barkeep says, "Can I help you?" Because I'm looking for the man who shot my call. Seriously, he's a person. Oh, on the camera, you missed it. Oh, what happened to my arm? So, short story long, because we got time. I've been in board sports all my life, skateboarding, surfing, snowboarding, and just anything with a board, I'm in. If it's got wheels, even better. So, I built my first skateboard out of a 2x4 metal skates. I sawed them in half, nailed them to a 2x4, now it's on. And I did not break my arm in that. But when I was 13, I broke it on a regular skateboard, going too fast. So, fast forward century later, 2 decades later, I got an electric one-wheel skateboard. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
Got one wheel in the middle.
Yeah.
Best purchase I ever made in like forever. I love that thing. But I made exactly the same mistake I did when I was 13.
Oh.
A friend of mine says, "So what happened?" I told him, he goes, "Age." I said, "That didn't help a bit." Because I didn't learn anything. So I went too fast, and the board, it's kind of complicated, but basically, if you overload it, it shuts down.
Ooh.
And it shut down on me about 15, 17 miles an hour.
Oh.
So it went that way, just drifted, and I went that way. Landed on my shoulder, broke my helmet, everything over here.
Collarbone broken or arm?
Collarbone is broken. It's fractured. It's not completely broken in half.
Oh
So
my
I
God.
we continued on. I was with a group of 30. Probably about 10 of them weighed this, so my pride was broken. And then, so we went and had tacos. So we had tacos, and then it was dark, and I had my flashlight because I was riding home in the dark. Everybody was. And I decided I probably shouldn't do that. And I keep forgetting the camera. Anyway, I went to the ER. My daughter picked me up and took me to the ER. So here I am. They say 4 to 8 weeks. I'm trying to push for 3. So anyway, all right, we're good to go.
Finish up Folsom.
We did this one already?
Yeah.
All right. Mark, top producer and top producer. All right, this is team stuff. 19 transactions, 11 transactions, and 9 transactions for Rose. Am I saying that right?
Is that for the quarter?
For the month.
That's
For the month.
For the month?
That's for
Wow.
The Fair and the KW?
Courtney Williams.
Courtney Williams. Okay.
Good job.
I didn't mean to say it. AG, the Artist Group, Nicole Chuck team, and Cash and Eklund. The big team, Homology and Saduk. All right. All right, let's do the market update. Sir?
Okay. Well, we're gonna get through these technical difficulties, I swear. So hopefully we're doing okay. How's everybody doing? I can't tell you how excited I am to be here. It's been over a year since we were able to do this, and I know we're not quite there yet with limited amount of people. So for those of you that are watching online, we have about 15 people in here, maybe. So it's exciting. The energy is great. Market. Anybody have any comments about the market? Good? Bad?
Awesome.
Who cares? No?
I want the seller's market to go away.
Yeah. How many people primarily work with buyers? Bummer. Right? I mean, it's tough right now. What are you guys doing to try to get your offers accepted?
They want us to tell you?
Yeah. We're all some big family. Anybody do anything special? There's a lot of crazy stuff people are doing right now.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that. Yeah, go ahead.
Escalating offers.
Escalating
We have to,
offers.
1,000 or 2 above the
Highest offer.
highest offer.
Yeah, so escalating offers. Yeah, anybody doing anything else? Anybody have their lender call, the listing agent?
Always sure.
Okay, that's good. Like to hear that, right?
So what I do in my email is I put what's in my contract, my offer, because you know how they're getting 13, 14 offers, 90 offers. So in the email, I put it there so they know when they receive mine that it's an awesome offer, right? Quotes.
Yeah.
And then that's all there. So the worst thing as a listing agent is going through all those and trying to figure out what your offer is about.
So in your email, you just put just a simple breakdown of the whole offer, the
Yeah,
highlight of the
highlight.
terms in the offer. So an agent gets it, they can just kind of see the
Yep.
highlights of the whole offer in
Yep.
the email.
And then when I get
Awesome.
my
That's
feedback I get back from the listing agents as well is that your stuff is really clean.
I like
So
that.
immediately they think I'm on it. And I also pre-set up my home inspections. So I already have, I call my home inspector and say, hey, can this offer may get accepted on Tuesday? Can you do this Thursday? And I put that in there as well.
Nice.
So I already put it out there. I'm gonna get it accepted.
And I'm just going to repeat what you said because the people online, it's hard to hear.
Okay.
So Elizabeth also pre-sets up inspections. So if they're accepting offers on Tuesday, she might already have her inspection set for Thursday. Lets the listing agent know. It's a great idea. Good, good.
I mean, if
I
you
love
really
that.
want to know what I do, the offers and stuff.
That's
what I
fantastic.
said.
Yeah. Okay.
My
Good.
lender doing it secret.
Yeah, Stella.
So what she does, I just put attach or the following and put 1, 2, 3, and then I make sure everything matches in the attachments to that order.
Yeah. So Stella really organizes it and presents a really good package. That's good. That's all great stuff. Well, I thought we would see a little kind of hiccup in the market. That's what I was kind of predicting. And then when I put these numbers together, was I way wrong? So this is my favorite graph. So those of you that have been coming to my meetings for a long time, you know this is the one I like to show a lot. The red line is the line I pay attention to the most. That's pending sales. Look where we are right now in pending sales. It is literally almost off the chart. And here's the crazy part that really shows a picture of the market rent is the gap between sold homes and pending. Look at that. So that means next month our sold homes are going to be literally through the roof, right? So great for sellers, struggle for buyers, right? So you can see this is last year at this time. Anybody want to say why there was that dip right there? Yeah, that's COVID, right? That's going to forever go down in history. Like, that's the COVID part of the chart. And then we saw what happened afterwards, and then see what's happening right now. So the market's just really, really on fire. Anybody have any ideas of what could hurt the market maybe this year?
Interest rates.
Yeah.
Interest rates. What else?
More COVID?
I think just lack of inventory.
Yeah.
We're going to get to some point where there's literally no houses to sell, right? So that's what I'm more concerned about that. And I read an article from NAR. It was really interesting. It said they did a survey. 40% of agents said they knew someone that was waiting for COVID to get over to sell. So if any of you 40% are in here, tell your people it's time to sell. Get on the market, right? So a lot of people were still kind of hesitant, concerned about what's going on, rightfully so, and are waiting to get on the market. So that's our hope, is we're going to see some inventory for those people. Any questions on this right here? Is this kind of representative of what you're feeling out there in the market right now? Yeah. Yes, Mike.
So I'm wondering when the buyer fatigue is going to start coming up.
Last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been going on for a while. You mean where they just kind of give up? I've already heard people saying, I'm just done for now.
Yeah, I have 3 buyers, they just said, we're done, we're just gonna wait until and come back and do it in the fall.
Yeah, but the problem is, that they take a step on the sidelines and then the market keeps going.
I've had buyers leave the resale market and go, we're not even gonna look at that anymore, we're looking at new builds only.
And the struggle with that is new home builders are behind too, right? They're struggling to keep up. And housing building costs have skyrocketed. So that's a whole nother issue that could affect the market.
Is the inflation is starting to set in.
Yeah.
We're already seeing everything is going up across the board.
Yeah.
And that's my big fear.
So that you think that could affect the market?
Well, I think what you said about lack of inventory, and that's all kind of part of it. It's like, why would I sell what I have when it's going to cost me less money to actually renovate, even though that's cost higher than to go out and buy?
Yeah.
Go
ahead, Aaron.
One thing we've been doing is we've been calling off markets and just, hey, it's a great market to consider selling, especially people with a lot of equity who are older than they consider moving out of state.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to create.
So someone just said like calling off market and seeing if you can encourage them. Here's the interesting thing. A lot of people, believe it or not, a lot of people still don't understand what's going on in the market. So we have to educate them, right? So that's a really important thing to do. This is average price per square foot since January of 20. So look what it's done, almost $50 a square foot in a little over a year. That's a lot of growth. This is when it starts to scare me, is when we start seeing that much of a rapid growth. Hold your thought,
And which area was that?
What's that?
What area was that?
Oh, sorry, all these, good question. All of these graphs are from the overall Sacramento market. Sacramento, Placer, El Dorado, and Yolo is what these graphs we're looking at here. This is inventory, months of inventory. Here we are, right here. So half a month of inventory. So 2 weeks of inventory. What that means is if no houses were to come on the market starting today, in 2 weeks, there would be 0 houses left on the market. That's how little inventory had. Does it guess where this is right here? COVID, right? They're like flip it upside down, right? So we have a spike. Inventory is just at some of the lowest levels we've ever seen. Days on the market, or is this stuff selling fast? I had a consumer complaint the other day. She was mad that her house stayed on the market 10 days and that she didn't get 35 offers. Legitimate complaint. Yep. So make sure you're setting expectations with your buyers and sellers, because people read the headlines and they think, oh my gosh, I'm going to get $200,000 over asking. It's going to sell in a day and I'm going to get all these offers, right? Has that happened? Yeah.
Well, yes.
Is that the norm?
No.
No. And I always just want to caution you, if you're ever quoting these days on the market to your clients, remember this. This is an average over the entire market in every single price range. So this could be substantially different where your client lives, right? The neighborhood, the price range, the $1 million price range is going to be less than the $400 price range or vice versa. So just remember, if you're quoting statistics, that you're quoting specifically to the geographic and price range of your client. The top line here, things are selling at 102% of asking price. So that just means over asking, right? And that's an average, which is crazy to think about. The entire market on average is selling for over asking price. What was this right here? COVID. COVID. And we can, like I said, that's going to just be that blip when we look back in time. Any questions on the market stuff right now?
I have a question.
Yeah.
In regards of the selling versus and the last part, how much the percentage sellers are getting? I overheard, I'm not representing buyers, just now, yes, buyers are welcome too, but I'm concentrating on sellers, right? But in regards of, I'm overhearing now that offers that they accept, they receiving crazy, over 20, 30, 60 offers. The prices that they accepted the offers for, let's say 50, 60, 70,000 over asking price. Once appraiser comes to the property, are those actually
Appraising
at that price?
Yeah, so the question was, with offers so far above asking, are we having appraisal issues? Yes and no. It just really depends. Here's something very, very different than the market in 2004, 5, and 6. Who was an agent then?
I was in South Florida.
Okay,
We
so
were a couple years behind you guys.
a few people.
Yeah.
The difference then and now is then people were getting first, seconds, and thirds on stated income loans. Zero equity, right? Today, it's not uncommon, and maybe Keith can talk to this. We're seeing buyers with 300 down, 400,000, 600,000 down. So people are walking into these with equity and they can bridge that gap oftentimes, or they're paying all cash. And I know Keith has, the class today is going to be a very, very important class from Movement Mortgage on what happens if your appraisal comes in low. But to your point, some are appraising. We are seeing low appraisals. But the biggest difference is people are coming in with so much money than they did back then. And that's why I don't think we're going to, if you see some things people are talking about, oh, we're going to have all these foreclosures. I don't think so. I think the market could dip 30% and people still have equity because they came in with so much money. So that's a big difference. Does that make sense?
I think it's also too, man, you can take away 50% of the demand and we still have multiple offers on houses, right? So it's not just like home prices going down. Demand has to drop first before that happens.
Yeah.
And we can lose half of the demand. We can lose 3/4 of the demand.
And
we still have inventory issues.
And here's, I think, another thing to just kind of wrap your head around. With the massive amount of increase in prices that we're seeing in our market, we're still a bargain compared to the rest of California. Isn't that crazy to think about that? We're still lower than the Bay Area. We're still lower than a lot of places in Orange County, Southern California, those kind of things. So even though we're seeing like, oh my gosh, I can't believe where prices are, to the rest of California, they're still thinking, you guys are still cheap, relatively speaking. Does that make sense? Okay.
Can I add something real quick?
Yes.
I have a couple listings coming that, because I keep, you gotta work with your database, connect. One's moving to Kentucky and one's moving to Texas. Right. So those people don't need to find a house. So you gotta reach out to your database, and that's, just from my networking. And one was my my husband's old boss. And I kept on, like, retired, and like I sent him a little postcard.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, so reaching out to your database. I mean, you've got to stay in touch with past clients for sure. I think that's a
Especially when
great
they're
point.
leaving Cali.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen a lot of questions over the past 2 or 3 weeks in our Facebook group about, can we do open houses? Do we still have to wear masks? Do we still have to pee? Do we still have to do? Nothing has changed. The rules on showing homes have not changed. The rules about doing compliant open houses has not changed. So none of that has changed. I know we want it to, and I know we feel like it, some people feel like it should, maybe some people feel like it shouldn't. But look what we've been able to accomplish in a year. Has the real estate industry adopted, survived, and had a great year?
Yes.
Right. So there's nothing holding us back, even these rules and regulations. So we got to keep that in mind. The last thing we'd ever want is for some sort of government official to come in and change the way that we're doing things, because we're doing it pretty well. So just remember, everybody, none of the rules have changed. I'm just going to go briefly over what those rules look like. Let me get them all up here. Oops. There's basically 9 rules that we have to follow when we're doing our COVID compliant home tours. Take a screenshot right now, take a picture of the screen, do something like that. This is the same thing that we've been posting over and over and over again. Nothing has changed. And I think this is going to be here for a while.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be here through the rest of this year. I don't see anybody reducing or changing any of the rules for the rest of the year, and that's just my opinion. I have no factual basis beyond that, but I just can't see them changing anything. The problem we're having is complaints, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. And the thing that blows me away is, do you know that people put video cameras in their homes?
Yes.
Yes.
I always say, assume that there's a video camera on you all the time. So when you go show the house with no masks, you're not following any protocols, somebody's watching you, and someone's going to complain. And those complaints are now going to the board as ethic complaints, and to the DRE as DRE complaints. Okay, so we just have to make sure that we're following the rules, and you'll be just fine.
Can I say
Any questions on that?
Can I
Go
add
ahead.
something to that? Sunday I did an open house on my listing, it's vacant, right? So she was finally able to move out and stay, and I have all my little coronavirus world set up. But what I did is I brought a couple chairs because she wants everyone to wear booties. And I just set up in the garage, had them come in, sign in, because a lot of agents showed up or people saw it online, investors from the Bay Area and their agents, and they didn't send me a key, but I had them all there, they signed them, and they could sit down, put on the booties, and they have to hop around 1 foot. And then I had all the doors open, all the lights on, everything open. They didn't have to touch anything. And I still cleaned it afterwards. But I'll tell you, every agent who came through was very appreciative that I had it open, ready to go, curtains open, lights on, and they didn't have to touch a thing. And then I had peds there because they're like, oh, oops, we forgot to send that.
Yeah. So I think that's a great point. So for people online, we're just kind of talking about just following the rules. It's easy to follow the rules. It's not very complex. Bonnie, did you have something?
I did. There's just a couple of things. Just if you're going to have kids at your home tour, we can't call it open. Sorry. No. At the home tour, make sure that you take a picture of the kid and send it to the listing agent prior to letting anybody in. That kid has to be the listing agent first, because it has to be an appointment only. We can't let people just walk in. And Greg said, this is our livelihood at stake. If we get too many complaints, they're going to shut us down. So we got to follow the rules of the home tour. COVID compliant everywhere.
So what she's describing, is that acceptable if she had them physically sign it and she is the listing agent? So she has it, even if they're walking up in person right then, they're signing it prior to entry. Is that acceptable?
Yeah, technically it says electronically signed.
Electronically signed.
That's what the technical rules are, that they are electronically signed.
And technically schedule an appointment.
And so, I mean, but scheduling an appointment, I don't want to get into the weeds in this.
Yeah,
But hold on a second here.
2 seconds prior, right?
That's exactly right. So you could walk up and you could text me, and I could text you back, and then that's technically an appointment. Yes, Estella.
I'd like to add to, the setup that I've done is I have also to add, I have a cup that says clean pens and then one sanitized pen. So that way that also covers me.
Yeah,
So people
yeah.
forget about the pen.
So here's a great thing, that we did a whole entire presentation on COVID compliant home tours. It's in Help Juice. If you go to Help Juice, you can see the entire slide deck. You can see all the rules, you can follow everything, and a lot of really helpful suggestions as well on how to do those things.
We're doing it rev up today too.
And we're doing it in Rev Up today. Today, that's good. Okay, good. I want to talk a little bit about our buyers waiving contingencies. Yeah, we're seeing buyers waive like everything, right? Good idea, bad idea? The lawsuits are already coming. They're already coming. This is what buyers are doing. They're getting into contract. As soon as they get in the contract, they're trying to renegotiate everything. And then as soon as they close, it's like, oh, the plumbing doesn't work. This and the lawsuits are coming. I mean, we are seeing an enormous amount of demand claims from attorneys right now, and it's because of this, right? So you have a fiduciary responsibility to your buyer or to your seller. The verbiage should be, I know a lot of people are doing this. You should not do this.
What if they're investors and they go, we know what we're doing?
Okay, there's an exception to every rule, Debbie, but my point is you, as their agent, should be going, hey, you're the boss, but I need to tell you, you shouldn't do this. And this is why. And if you choose to do it, that's on them, but you have to be telling them. We can't say, I have an idea to get your offer accepted. Don't do inspections, right? Because you just advised them to waive one of their very, very important rights on a transaction. Yeah.
Yeah, and things that you mentioned, this is huge. It is, and it's very important. I never allow anybody to waive any of the inspections back to mine. What I'm saying is, yesterday, by matter of fact, I heard someone told me, I'm in the point of submitting, telling my clients to waive contingencies.
Yeah.
And I'm like.
Look, waiving an appraisal, if you have the means to cover it, that's one thing.
Yeah.
Understood. Waiving the loan, but waiving inspections is just dangerous territory. Now, the Bay Area, what a lot of people, listing agents do, will have a home inspection. The seller pays for it, and that's part of their disclosure package. So everything is done, pest report up front, inspections up front, TDS, SPQ, everything is done up front. And then the buyer has a good basic problems. Our buyers are still going to do this. Don't get me wrong. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. It should not be your advice to have them waive, because when you're at the deposition and the other attorney's sitting in front of you saying, so let me get this straight. You told your client not to investigate that $1 million purchase. That's going to be a tough one to get through, right? Okay. And then the last one I want to talk about here is dual agency right now. What are a lot of buyers doing? Going directly to the listing agent. Why are they doing that?
They think they're gonna get better.
They think they're gonna get a better, or they think they're just gonna get it, period, right? And what are some agents thinking?
Well, it's always good.
They have that, yeah, they have commission breath, right? They have that, they're like, oh my gosh, 2 deals. But remember this, you have a fiduciary responsibility to both parties equally, right? So if your buyer says, let's waive the inspection contingency, and you say, that's a good idea, the attorney's going to say, your fiduciary responsibility was really to the seller, not to the buyer. And when you don't send the notice to perform to the buyer, and the deal falls through, the seller's going to be going, hey, you weren't representing me. Why didn't you send that notice to perform? Well, I was trying to get the buyer through. Well, but you represent me. Do you see the problems?
Yes.
And it's hyper highlighted right now, right? Because there's this intensity. Buyers are struggling to get properties. They're doing anything they can. And the slightest little thing that goes wrong, guess whose fault it is? Yours.
Somebody's.
Right?
Not theirs, somebody's.
Yeah, it's going to be, the gun's going to go like this, whoop, right to you immediately. And we're seeing a lot of it right now. Yes.
So I've been dealing in the past and right now in the present redouble double-end agent,
Mhm.
dual agency situation. But trust me, I'm very, very loyal to all parties.
Yeah.
I'm very in the middleman, and it's not about me.
The problem is you can't be the middleman because you have a fiduciary responsibility.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so let's just leave it this. I'm not saying that you can't do dual agency. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in today's market is extremely difficult to do it because of the way the market is. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We terminated, what I'm going to this is we terminate one of those, I had 2 of those dual agencies, and I terminate one because of for the contract.
Perfect. Perfect.
I terminated that. We were about to send a 2-day notice to perform. If they did not perform by a certain day.
Good job.
I advise the both parties.
Good. Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. So this is what we're seeing because of all that stuff that we just talked about. DRE complaints, ethics complaints, board complaints, MLS violations, claim demands, E&D disputes, mediation requests, and lawsuits. Wow. Increase across the board. Last week, I dealt with 5 earnest money deposit disputes. Wow. Because the buyer's like, I'm waiving everything. They go in and they go, oh, I'm canceling. And their agent didn't do a good job saying, you just wrote the seller a check, right? You gave up your E&D, you don't get that back. And buyers are going, whoa, whoa, whoa. Well, I didn't know that. And agents are going, well, I mean, it's in the contract, right? So this is one of those things that are you educating your clients in this market and what's going on? And again, don't misinterpret what I'm saying. I'm sharing with you so you have the information that you don't end up in all these categories right here, because we're seeing a lot of them right now. We really, really are. All right, I am hoping that the slides we're about to see are the correct ones. There is a better than 50% chance that they are not the correct ones. And we're gonna find out because of all the issues that we were having this morning with our technical problems. We're just gonna see what happens. So at this point, I would just like to bring up Bonnie Burlock.
Hey, Bonnie.
She's our executive coordinator. And it's
Perfect. Hi, everybody. So excited to be here. So excited to see your faces. So excited to see your names and your faces above your masks. It's so exciting. And oh, Mike's not here, but I did bring my 3x5 card. So the video may not be cooperating, but I'll be saying what I need to say. One day. So one day is a day that we as a unit all together, all of our together going to give back to our community. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. We're getting together, we're giving back to our community. As Greg said, our business has, we've done pretty well. We haven't hurt, we haven't had some of the losses that some people have had during COVID. So we together are going to give back and take care of our community. All in?
Yes.
Okay, we have April 29th marked. Deal? Deal.
What's the actual activity?
Oh, the questions, what is the activity? Christina and I are working on that and it's out soon, but it's a time where we're all going to get together, we're all going to get back, we're going to have fun, and we're going to make an impact on our community.
And it's an all-day event?
It is a semi, 3/4, half of all-day event, yeah.
So, okay.
Stay tuned for more information.
Stay tuned.
My brain goes straight to logistics.
We will not start at 6 a.m. Christina and I might, but you all won't start at 6 a.m., okay?
It'll be fun.
It will be fun. Did I do it right?
Yeah.
Sort of. We are a little out of whack, and it's okay. Did I hit 2 minutes? Okay. So these are our graduates for April for Rev Up. And what's really exciting about this is there is some people who were in Rev Up for 2 months. And there were some people in Rev Up for 2 years. And you know what? We're here to support you as far as you want to go, as fast as you want to go. So that's super exciting. I think Chaz is probably in in line for finishing Rev Up the fastest, which he is very, very excited about. Chaz, if you're listening, congratulations. So those are our graduates, and I'm super excited for them. Yay! Rev Up. So the Rev Up new agent program has done almost $11.4 million in April alone. So, in March. In March. Everything that I said was March, not April. So let's take April off the books there. So yeah, in March.
That's a lot of new agents doing a lot of business.
So I'm glad you said that, Kevin. Let me tell you how many agents that is. So what we have is right here. 28 agents from Rev Up did that amount of business, which is cool, right? Out of those, 9 agents had their very first closing ever as a realtor. How cool is that? And of course, we have the 4 graduates. So very exciting for Rev Up. Upcoming classes. So we have some classes starting today. Right after this, we have Movement Mortgage, who's doing an amazing class on appraisals. Online. Today, we're going to be talking about open houses and the COVID listing agreement. Still, some people don't realize there's an extra disclosure we need to include with our listing agreement that's for COVID. So we'll be going over that on Thursday in Rockland. All of it will be on Zoom as well. So you can RSVP to come to the in-class and Zoom to come to online. Now, we have a couple, if you've been in the business anytime, you know these 2 people, Julie Wright and Laurel House. We have NHDs and red flags. It's great training. If you haven't seen it, it's in help. And Julie will be doing a training on home warranties coming up at the end of the month. This is amazing. What do you need to know?
What do you need to know?
What do you need to know?
what the intent was. Was it the seller's intent to agree to let the house go for 40,000 under what they thought the price was going to be? Probably not. So one way to be very, very clear is you can provide a minimum and a maximum. So this agreement is contingent upon a written appraisal at no less than 10,000 below. And one more step is if the appraisal comes in more than 10,000 below, the buyer has the option to bring in the additional funds to close, and the seller does not agree to reduce the purchase price. So if at the beginning of your contract, you put this in writing, guess what? When the appraisal comes in $43,000 low, we know exactly what the intent was from both the buyer and the seller. No question, we know. Seller's not going to reduce the purchase price, period. And the buyer has the option if they want to bring in the difference. So there we go, problem solved. No calls to car legal, no calls to your manager, no calls to GERG. So
and that purchase price, probably better language, is contract price. What the contract price was, right? Because we've had appraisals come in not only lower than the offer price, but actually what the in other words, or the listed price. Does that make sense? I know this is confusing. That was the problem that we had. It came in even lower than what they listed it at.
There's a difference.
And the
Less
seller
than
was
the contract,
flipping
it came
out.
in less than the contract and less than the
Less
list
Than
price.
the list price, yes. And so the seller was flipping out.
yes,
In that part, does it also say that if it does come in too low, the buyer does have the option to cancel? Or
yes.
are they locked in at this minimum, maximum thing?
Well, they're saying that they have the option. So if it comes in at less, that's their contingency. That's their way out
So
of
they
that.
do have-
Correct.
The intent though is for, so let's just say it's a $500,000 offer, $500,000 agreed upon price, but they're gonna pay 10,000 over, but in the seller's mind, they're saying, we're not gonna accept less than 490 because they think it's gonna, but they put an actual less than price. They would
You
go
can.
You could,
And
yes,
that's
to
what I
solidify
recommend.
even further.
correct. You
Yeah,
could,
so yeah, seller to accept no less than X price.
right.
Correct.
But I worry about putting that in the contract because then the appraiser having a copy of the contract might come in.
We'll put that in an addendum and then give the contract to the appraiser.
That might be fraud.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem is exactly that. I think the problem is the seller thinks, oh, I'm gonna get 10,000 over whatever the appraisal is, but they weren't expecting the appraisal to come in 60,000 low.
Yes,
So I think putting in the minimum and max, or minimum, I think is an okay thing.
yes.
That way it sets the floor for sure.
Yes. And so even through COVID, we have grown so much, and there's quite a few people in here. Maybe this is their first live meeting or online. So I wanted to go over our file review process. For those of you that use the in-house TCs, you can just ignore me for the next couple of minutes. This doesn't relate to you because the TCs touch your file all the time. For folks that aren't using an in-house TC, or you have an outside TC, this will pertain to you. So the file review process for the compliance team is, first of all, you have to do your part and upload your transaction within 3 days. We're seeing still some agents creating a file and uploading everything 3 days before closing, which creates a big problem for you and us, is that we don't have time now to make corrections or get the documents that we need for that file. And it makes you look bad.
Or to flag it for potential problems.
Correct. Makes you look bad, makes us freak out, creates liability for both of us. So that's your part. And we create tasks and put them in your file once you set that file up. And we review your file certain times of the transaction. So at 5 days after you create the transaction, at 20 days, hopefully you've got all the inspections uploaded, and then 5 days before closing. So by 5 days before closing, we should have everything in there and everything reviewed, except for maybe the VP and or the FERPTA that's coming from escrow. So you want to make sure everything's in there, and then there won't be delays on you receiving your money. It's funny how sometimes when agents upload the documents 1 day before closing, now they're on us that we didn't do our part. when we really, we have done. And so we get that reviewed. So once the check comes into the office, does anyone know how many business hours we have on the compliance team to do the final audit? 48 hours. So that's when we receive the check. That's not when you
Not
report.
48 business hours. 48 business hours would be like a week.
Yeah, 48 hours.
48 hours.
2 days.
2 calendars.
But if we get it on Friday, that would be Tuesday. Okay, just being clear. We have 6 days, guys. 6 days to get her done. If you have any problems, call me. Okay. All right, so we got this. So again, you're gonna get an email that says either congrats, your file is complete, you can pick up your check at the office, or congrats, your file's not complete, please upload the remaining items so we can re-review. So you always will get an email either way, thumbs up or thumbs down, either way. Yes.
Question, in regards to one of the final documents, the BP, I never been in that kind of a situation when I'm representing the buyer lives in the property. Because there's one of the.
So it's a tenant.
Transaction. I already went yesterday and ran my BP, but the buyer lives in the house. The tenant is who purchased the property at the end. I ran it yesterday, but she feels kind of awkward. I'm like, I live here. It's mandatory, right? Because it's one of the documents that we need. Of course. So I went yesterday, I'm like, yeah.
So all they do is sign the document.
Very quick. It will take us 5 minutes or less.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
know your check. You gotta give them-
Right. I'm gonna be paid.
Right, exactly.
That's the final one.
Yes. Okay, and this I updated. So this has the cell phone numbers of the management team. It also has Bonnie's cell phone number and where to send your file review questions and commission demands and referrals. So you can take a screenshot of that. You can take a picture of it, but call Mike on his cell. I'm gonna leave this up for 1 second if anybody else wants to take a picture.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a help juice?
It will be,
Hold on.
yeah, it will be. And the file review process is also in Help Juice.
Much easier. Yeah. That was a big banner.
All right, yeah. Okay, I know, let's hear from Movement Mortgage.
What's up, y'all?
What's up?
Hello, everybody. I am Chris Lee. I'm one half of your amazing duo. I'm Batman. He's Robin. One half of your amazing dynamic duo here from Movement Mortgage. I'm Sacramento branch manager. I also have office right down the street, so he's actually in the office as well. So even if we're not actually in here, we're like 2 blocks away. So we're always engaged.
Very close.
Very close.
100 Howe Avenue is where we are.
So we're extremely excited to be back in here. And this is Antonio's first meeting. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Antonio Lopez. Obviously a loan officer here at Movement Mortgage. I've been doing loans in the Sacramento area for 15 years. And I'm very, very excited to be at Movement. It's my 2nd year here. And I'm very happy to help support your guys' office. So thank you. And I'm excited.
Can you guys stand together, like in front of the?
Oh.
Closer?
Yeah, you guys have to like, you guys have to stay on the left side.
Got it.
Sorry,
That's all right.
because we want to see both your mugs.
Hey, Antonio, are there any nonprofit organizations that you're a member of that you belong to?
Whoa, that's not a lead.
So Mike and I were recently connected because we basically landed here at the same time a few weeks ago. And he's very involved in VA rep. And he asked if I could come aboard and help. And I'm very excited to now be a member and on the board for membership. So join VA rep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Keith. The solo clap. I appreciate it.
walked up with a big check and then shut it all down.
Blank check?
Blank check.
I love that logo, by the way. It looks awesome.
Beautiful logo. The arrow going up.
Oh, perfect. So here's the entire Movement Mortgage team within Route Complete, right? Antonio and I are in Sacramento, and you can see there's Uncle Keith right there, and then we have Allison Hoffman in Folsom, and Becky, Mark, Randy, and Keith in Rockland. So
Nice.
She's a space bar.
Got it. All right, agent monthly playbook. Who gets to see our beautiful faces every month on these things, right?
Nice.
See here?
Nice.
So every month, some of you are actually getting it mailed directly to your homes because of COVID. We had to figure out how to do that last year, but that'll still happen. But also they're here in the office every month with new content, with things, social media tips and tricks, daily checklists of what to do, how to be better and be more efficient with your business, things like that. It's like literally
Scripting,
40
database ideas. It's
45 new pages every month. They'll be here in the office if you're already getting them in mail, or if you want them in the mail, let us know. We can get them mailed out to your homes as well. So that's our agent monthly playbook. I'm trying to go kind of quick. I know we're behind.
I know it's. I'm not.
Okay. All right. You know.
I know we're behind a little bit. So our process, 671, this is new for a lot of people. What makes us different at Movement Mortgage from a lot of other lenders? It's the way we do our process. We have 671. So our goal is to do, we go directly from salesperson, from loan officer to underwriting. And our goal is to have that fully underwritten within 6 business hours. That's our goal. I'm gonna be honest, pre-COVID, I don't know the number since COVID because it blew up, but pre-COVID, we're about 85%. So we're telling about 79% of hitting that goal. So 79% of the time, we will hit the upfront underwriting that's in 6 hours, right? Then the 7 is our processors now have 7 days. It's like an open book test. The underwriter is now giving them what they need. They have 7 days to go out and collect those conditions, and they're incentivized based on that number. And then the 1 is our truly table funding, which means that we will send our wire with the docs. So we can actually fund, sign, fund, record the same day. So that's our 671 process, and that's what really helps us process our loans very fast, which is another reason why we're great at rescuing loans. So if you have any issues going on with another lender, you want us to take a look, we can usually turn things around really fast for you. This is what the lunch and learn's on today, but I think Antonio's got a little bit to talk about it.
Yeah, I'll slide over here. So basically the low appraisal insurance, Keith used this term, and I think it's a very, it's a solid term in the sense that right now, this is a hot topic. Greg mentioned it a few moments ago. This is something that we're gonna need to address. Today, the lunch and learn, we're gonna talk about low appraisal insurance. And this is an example through Mortgage Coach of a $500,000 sales price and having a conversation with the client ahead of time, if they've got the funds to do so, to make up the value in the low appraisal, but not necessarily using more cash so we can offset the amount down. We've got a couple of tools we'll talk about during today's lunch and learn. Our mission is to exist, we exist to love and value people by leading a movement of change in our industry, corporate cultures, and communities in the communities that we serve. Keith made it a point to talk about that. And Keith, would you mind coming up and just kind of helping us explain how the Movement Foundation works and what we're going to be doing here at Realty One?
Cool. So we thought this was kind of cool with these checks. We got the big check. I don't know if you guys can see it. We're going to have these in every single office. So the big thing in our mission statement is the communities that we serve. And how do we do that when we have a large corporation? And Movement Mortgage is a national company. We did $32 billion in home loans last year. How does Movement know what the needs are in Sacramento, California? Movement is relying on our employees locally to come alongside those charities and foundations to give back. And so what our foundation does is they will dollar for dollar match any donation that we make to a local charity, which is super cool. So one of the things we thought is like, we really haven't talked about this. And so how do we partner with Movement, partner with our foundation to make a difference in the communities that we serve through real estate? And so the idea that we came up with is, you know, if you're an agent and you currently have some charities that are close to your heart and you're donating to, maybe per transaction on behalf of your customers, we want to partner with you in that. And so with the loan officer, let's just say, for example, you do $200 a transaction. We'll come alongside the loan officer, do another 200, and then our foundation will come alongside and then match our 200 so that we can raise $600 per transaction to donate back to the charity.
That's awesome.
So
Huge.
I think it's super cool. I think it's super cool. So, you know, there's a lot of local grassroots charities.
I know, like Chewy Mountain 8 Foundation.
There you go. There you go. I love it. There's a lot of local grassroots charities that will make you their preferred real estate team. They'll put you on the website. They'll send you out their distribution list with the idea that we're going to donate back to that foundation whenever we help one of their customers, one of their people that donate, right? And so what we wanted to do is have these huge checks where let's like make big social media splash about this. Come on in. He's going to be here. We partner with you. We write it up on the check. We take pictures. We tag everybody on social media. We tell the customers that we've donated in their names, and then hopefully we can make some difference in the local community and give back, but also generate some real estate transactions through the use of our foundation. So that's kind of the thought process that we had here. And I didn't know what it was going to look like today, so I took a picture of the check, but then we brought it in too.
Cool.
Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, love that.
If there's a charity that's close to your heart, please reach out to local movement mortgage loan officer. We want to partner with you in that, and let's go make a difference.
Nice.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you, guys. Please check back in 20-something minutes, and we have the lunch and learn, talk about the low appraisal assurance that we kind of touched on right here. So
Thank you. I did that real quick. Yeah. Super important. Is that cool? Really quickly. Okay, so check this out. Dude, I'm back. Low appraisal insurance. So I get the question all the time. I get the question all the time. If the property doesn't appraise, do the borrowers have the funds to pay the difference if it doesn't? And my answer, the answer should be, they don't have to. They don't have to. That's a misconception. Unless the borrower's doing down payment assistance, 100% financing VA, or minimum down FHA, we can just adjust the numbers so that they're cash to close, and often their payment doesn't change. And we can do this ahead of time, right? So if we're writing an offer in this aggressive market where you're concerned that it's not going to appraise, let's talk to the borrowers ahead of time about what it might appraise for and how that might impact the transaction. And if they're comfortable with the numbers, then we put in the subject line of the email, this offer has low appraisal insurance. Because what we need is we need the listing agents to stop in their tracks when they see 30 offers, and ours is one of them. And that's one of those things that's doing that, but we're doing it ahead of time. So it's not going to work for everybody, but I do think this is a big thing because, you're seeing these properties not appraised. And again, it doesn't have to. We did a file. This is a great example. Here's my tease. It's a $500,000 purchase. We set up numbers at 460, and the cash to close didn't change, but 10% down. Okay. So right, normally,
Stop teasing me.
There he goes. So come to the class. They're going to talk all about it. Okay. It's important.
Okay. Hold on. One more thing before we go. Hey, we've got a special guest. I want to introduce. Hold on. Here she comes. Here she comes.
Her name is Sophie.
All right. I'm going to introduce you to Sophie. Bring Sophie over here. Sophie is a rescue.
Come in the camera a little bit.
Say hi, Sophie.
Hi,
Sophie.
Ruff. My name is Sophie. So this is Kimmy with Kimmy's Critters, and she is a fabulous rescue. We also have a book out there. You can see what other adoptable pets are available. And so let me just tell you a little bit about Sophie.
Scared.
I'm already spayed, house trained, up to date with my shots, good with kids, and good with dogs. So here's her story. I was an owner surrender because my family couldn't provide the home that I deserved. I'm 2 years old and was an outside-only dog. I was initially afraid of coming inside. However, I'm now snuggling with my foster mom, sleeping in bed with her. I am crate trained and house trained. I use the doggy door to take care of my business. Since I was alone most of the time, I learned to entertain myself by throwing toys up in the air and catching them. She's got talent.
Yeah.
Okay, and which provides my foster mom with plenty of comic relief. I previously lived in a home with small children, so should be fine with them. And she is adorable.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, and so if you're interested or you know someone, please reach out to Kimmy's Critters, and her cards are there. There's other additional information. She is one of my favorite rescues.
Thank you.
Yes, I have fostered for her before, and she's awesome. And she is well respected because she even pulls from local shelters, and you're only able to pull when you're respected. 501c.
Nice.
So,
Thank
any
you.
questions, anybody?
No, thanks.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you for
All
coming.
right. Thank you, everybody. I figured I'd bribe you for the next meeting with puppies.
Yes.
Just, hey, real quick, rescues, by the way, have a tendency to grab from the shelters before the dog is euthanized. So if you're looking for a dog, go to the rescues. I'm actually picking up a rescue this evening for our family, so it's near to my heart. So thank you.
Thank you, guys.